It's time again for Coach's Corner with Jay, featuring the Knowles head coach, Jay Sarcosta, and our host, Jeff Stevens.
No matter what size you are, maybe it's time to transform your physique. For your convenience, Transforming Physiques is open all day, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Thursday, Fridays till 7, and Saturday 9 to 3. Take advantage of free weights and heavy-duty workout equipment. For expert advice, call trainer Jay Abel to schedule one-on-one fitness training. Aerobic classes will be starting in September. Adult, student, and family memberships are available at Transforming Physiques Fitness Center and Tanning Salon. The Woodsfield Clinic, a division of Wheeling Hospital, opened recently with familiar and friendly faces in the office. Joan and Janie know our area and many of the patients, which is a huge asset to the clinic. Dr. Charles D'Annunzio brings 30 years of healthcare experience and is focused on the needs of a rural practice. The Woodsfield Clinic will be expanding to 5 days a week starting September 6th to meet community needs. We are here because you ask us to be. A division of Wheeling Hospital, finding solutions, serving with care. Students are able to get a very good education, gain some valuable experiences, and they don't have to leave or go far away to do it.
Whatever I wanted to do, I could go down to Athens and everything would transfer down.
So not only is it close to home, it's a decent price. Small classrooms and a friendly atmosphere. It just makes for a great place to start or even go all the way with the whole degree.
Ohio University Eastern. It's a new day.
If you're around others that smoke, you are at risk.
Sitting behind someone who is smoking in a stadium for 3 hours is the same thing as a non-smoker smoking 1 cigarette. Riding in a car with somebody who is smoking with the windows rolled up for 1 hour is the same as a non-smoker smoking 4 cigarettes.
And sitting in the non-smoking section of a restaurant is just like smoking 1.5 cigarettes.
Your choice leaves us no choice. To learn how to protect yourself and others from secondhand smoke, call Monroe County Tobacco Use Prevention and Control at 472-1677. Would you like to break the tobacco habit? We can help. Call Tammy at the Monroe County Health Department, 472-1677, extension 204.
Good evening and welcome to Coach's Corner. And tonight, Coach and I are here to get you prepared for tomorrow night's game against county rival, the River Pilots. And also we'll meet 2 of your Seminole players. But Coach, before we put a close to last Friday night's game, then just a couple things to go over here. For starters, I don't think it's really possible for us to get into a deeper hole any quicker than what we did last Friday night.
No, you're exactly right, Jeff. You know, the one thing you don't want to do is botch up the opening kickoff, and that's exactly what we did. We fumbled the opening kickoff and gave them tremendous field position that led to their first score. And then it seemed like things just snowballed from there and not in our favor. And we've just committed too many turnovers in the first 2 games, and our offensive performance has been absolutely terrible in the first 2 games. There's no doubt about that. And so we have to eliminate some turnovers, and we know we were very fortunate to win in week number 1, having about 6 turnovers, 4 in the first half, and then having the turnovers we had against Shadyside. As the teams get better, you know, you turn the ball over, you're not going to give yourself much chance to win. So we got to quit turning the ball over, and we got to do something offensively. Defensively, you know, we haven't been playing too bad at football. You know, we held Shadyside to about 112 yards of total offense, and in most cases you usually take 112 yards as being a good defensive effort when you look at shutting down their run and pass to 112. But we just didn't do anything offensively, and thus dug ourselves a big hole right from the very beginning, and that spelled defeat.
Yeah, and that's a nice job defensively also, for the fact that you had to move some people around because of injury, you know, just the week prior to the game, and then the weather really didn't allow you to get on the field as much as you would want. So I think, you know, overall, you know, the defensive kids really did a commendable job.
Yeah, they did. We had an injury to one of our starting defensive players last week, actually also a starting offensive player, but Buck Wiley had a knee injury in the Buckeye Trail game, and he was unable to go against Shadyside. So being that we're so thin in terms of depth, we had to make some switches. We moved Matt Ishii from his defensive middle guard position to an inside linebacker position that he really hasn't had much experience of playing. We moved Eddie McConnell from his defensive tackle position to inside to the middle guard position, and Chris Lazier to a defensive tackle, which he hadn't had a lot of experience playing at either. So we had basically three guys, well, I should say two guys, because Eddie played middle guard last year, but we had two guys that were playing positions where they hadn't had a lot of experience, but they responded real well.
Finally, in regard to the game, especially in the second half, do you get to a point where you kind of discard the game plan and start thinking about what we're going to need to do next week and the week after, and trying to emphasize that as far as the play calling in the last couple possessions of the game?
Well, I don't know that you really look toward the next week, Jeff, as much as what I told our kids. In fact, I told them at halftime, right now we're not focusing on winning this game, being down 19-0. We've got to go out the second half, and we've got to make some positive things happen. And we basically did that for a while, but again, we played well enough defensively, but we didn't do anything offensively. In fact, basically Shadyside did all their damage in that first half, and we didn't allow them to get in the second half, which is good, but offensively we did nothing. And then at the end of the game, the other thing that really upset me was the fact that it wouldn't have made any difference other than the final score outcome. It wouldn't have made any difference in winning or losing, but we had the ball down on the 4-yard line and not punch it in, and that's not good. So we definitely still have a lot of things that we need to get worked out, and we need to do a much better job offensively. And basically it's the same basic guys that are playing offense or defense are playing offense, and basically it's the same plays that we ran before that worked, and we just got to do a little better job executing. And basically they shut down both our running game and our passing game. We couldn't do either one, so we were pretty much baffled all night long offensively.
Well, as I said before, I think it's time that we close the book on that and start looking ahead to this week's game against River. When we come back, we're going to meet two of your Seminole players. We'll do that in just 1 minute.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Emergencies happen 24 hours a day. When seconds count and options matter, you need access to a facility close to home. An emergency room in a hospital with a direct link to Ohio State University medical specialists. Doctors and nurses there for you 24 hours a day. The emergency services at Barnesville Hospital are ready when seconds count. What option will you choose? Urgent care with limited hours or 24-hour care from an accredited hospital? Barnesville Hospital Emergency Services.
Green Acres is the place to go. Garden tilling or grass to mow. Showroom spread out so far and wide. Come and see all our four-wheel rides.
Ah, the steels are what you've got to see. Chainsawing or attacking weeds. Lawn Boy and Toro are sold here too. Models for all the work you need to do.
Great advice. Good price. Service repairs. Extra care. Save a buck. You're really in luck. Green Acres, we are there.
Our first guest this evening is Chris Lazier. Chris is a senior, wears number 85, lines up at tight end on offense and defensively sometimes at end and sometimes at tackle. First question, Chris. This is your second year as a member of the Seminole team. What made you decide to come out last year as a junior?
Well, first 2 years I couldn't play because I had a medical condition with my hip, and I heard about the pride and tradition that Coach Cross has established in the football program, and I always wanted to play, so figured I'd come out and give it a shot.
So far this year we've seen you handling the kickoff duties. Do you have a goal in mind when you approach the ball, somewhere that you'd like to kick it every time, or how do you approach that?
Well, I just like to take my steps and kick the ball as far as it can go, but no real strategic unless they tell me to kick it somewhere.
Now, you've had one touchback this year. The ball hit and bounced over Buckeye Trail in week 1. In practice, what's the farthest you've ever kicked the ball when you worked on Thursday nights in practice?
Well, it depends. If I get warmed up, I can kick pretty consistent in between the 10 and farther back, but here I've been disappointed in myself, the consistency I've had, not kicking the ball off very well, but whenever I get warmed up, I can kick them.
First week of the season, we saw you line up for a few plays as a defensive end, and last week, as Coach and I talked about in the opening, you lined up at defensive tackle. Any preference? Do you prefer defensive end more than defensive tackle, or the other way around?
Well, there's a lot more responsibility that lies on your hands at defensive end, but I like defensive tackle more because of the contact, and defensive end, well, there's a lot of responsibility. It's not that I don't like that. It's just there's a lot to do, and it's a shame how I got to play defensive tackle, but I'm glad they gave me the spot.
That's it. I guess you would like the opportunity to play, but you never want it to be at the expense of an injury to one of your teammates. Coach, here's a young man, Chris. It's nice to have him around. You've asked him to play some different positions, and it's nice to have a little bit of variety in some of the places these kids are able to play.
Well, as you mentioned, Jeff, last year was Chris's first year out, and anybody that's played the game or coached the game can tell you that it takes a while to get acclimated to the things that are going on, and that's why it's always nice if a young man comes out when he's a freshman or sophomore, and then he gets that experience of freshman, sophomore year under his belt, and then usually experiences more playing time as a junior and a senior. But Chris, as he mentioned, had no control over that. He was unable to come out as a freshman, sophomore. We're just tickled to death that he was able to come out last year, and then he's out this year. And Chris and I talked prior to the season, and shows you that he is a team player. And the fact that I told him I thought we might use him as a offensive interior lineman because we were a little thin in those positions. But once we got started and we looked at it, the coaching staff determined that we probably needed him to keep him at tight end because we do run a double tight a lot in our offense, and we run double tight. You need somebody in there has a little bit of size that can block, and Chris at 240 is a nice size tight end, and so that gives us a little more bulk inside as far as running the football. So that's why we elected to leave him at the tight end position. And then, as we mentioned, we had to switch him, move him down to the inside defensive tackle when we had an injury this past week. So it's nice to have those guys around that can do that kind of thing. And I'd say that Chris is still learning, in the fact that last year was his first year out. He's still kind of getting acclimated to things and still learning, and so I think he'll continue to improve and get better each week. And as you mentioned, he also plays a key role in our special teams as far as kicking off. That's a very, very important job in terms of giving ourselves field position, especially to start out with on defense and then eventually offense. So we hope he can continue to improve as far as his kicking is concerned. I think probably if he hadn't, and Chris would probably be the first to admit this, if he had one fault, he sometimes gets too down on himself. He wants to, and that's a good thing, the fact that he wants to strive for perfection, he wants to do everything well, and that's good. But sometimes he kind of gets a little bit too down on himself, and I've talked to him about that in terms of distracting from his performance as a result of that. So I'm sure that he'll continue to do better, and as he gains experience, he's going to help us in a lot of different ways.
Well, Chris, we appreciate you being here with us tonight, and continue the hard work, and good luck on Friday night.
No problem.
When we come back, we'll talk to Brandon Ring.
A good football team works together, helping each other to do their best. A good insurance agency works together too, showing you the best coverage for you and your family. F.W. Shoemaker Insurance Agency represents several companies, so you benefit from personally designed coverage for your home, autos, or business. Talk to one of their agents about all your insurance needs, including life insurance and annuities. As they continue to look out for your future, F.W. Shoemaker Agency is celebrating over 100 years of service. The Seminoles of F.W. Shoemaker Agency, 2 winning traditions.
When we first opened our doors in 1929, Marietta Memorial Hospital marked the beginning of a commitment to healthcare in our community. From the start, the vision of compassionate care has been the standard for all that we do. Through the years, Marietta Memorial has been a leader in our community with advancements in both patient care and technology. As we celebrate our 75th anniversary, we continue that commitment, working to make a measurable difference in the health of the community where we live and work.
Most financial institutions like to talk about how big and strong they are. At Ohio Valley Community Credit Union, we'll show you just how big. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union. We're as big and strong as all of our member groups. Everyone in Belmont County and everyone in Monroe County. Ohio Valley Community Credit Union.
We're now joined by Brandon Ring. Brandon is a senior, wears number 71, and plays center on offense. Brandon's in his first year as a starter. First thing I'd ask Brandon is, what do you find is the biggest difference here going from center on the JV team to now stepping up and being the center on the varsity team?
Well, there's been a lot of pressure involved with the transition from going to a JV to a varsity position. It's been all like plays, learning different plays to speed, and just really a lot of pressure that falls on you with down and everything. Just a lot of pressure.
This is kind of a big week as far as the seniors are concerned, as far as practices. How's the enthusiasm been this week in practice?
Well, enthusiasm has been great. Me and Chris Laser, we're team captains this week, and we strive for every effort to get all the enthusiasm that we can push out of our team. Last couple of weeks we've been flat, and that's what's been really hurting us in the past. So we look to have good enthusiasm for this week.
As that varsity starting center, now what do you find is one of the hardest things to do, or one particular block that maybe is the hardest for you to execute?
Well, everything's really hard. Nothing's really easy in being interior line or center. I always block out there maybe if I have to go after a linebacker and if he's offset. It's really tough to really go after him because you have a lot of room between him and you.
We spent quite a bit of time here this year back in the shotgun with our quarterback Dexter Hughes lined up behind the center. What's the key that you look at, or what do you try to do to make sure that shotgun snap is on target?
Well, I'll look back at Dex, make sure, find his position, find him. It's really just routine. Snap the ball, it goes to him. It's just how much concentration and focus you have on the game and on the ball. So it's just really all mental.
Well, Coach, here's a young man as a senior who's been in your program for 4 years and been waiting his turn, and finally as a senior has had that opportunity to be a starter.
Well, you're right, Jeff. Brandon has matured quite a bit. I can remember his freshman year, and there's a big difference between him and his freshman year and now. Number one, he's gotten much bigger. He's, a nice sized young man, and we felt going in that, we needed somebody to replace Chris Jeffers at center, and we felt that might be a position that he might be able to step in and fill for us offensively. We weren't really looking at him on the defensive side of the ball, though before the year's over, who knows? He may be playing some on the defensive side of the ball, but we felt if Brandon could step in and do a nice job for us centering, and as he said, you got a lot of responsibility there. Center position is one that oftentimes goes overlooked in an offense, but everything starts with the snap of the ball, and if you don't have a good exchange between the center and the quarterback, then you don't have anything. And then you mentioned about him being or us being in a shotgun formation, and worked a lot this summer on getting his shotgun snaps down because we felt we would be in that formation quite a bit, and he's improved considerably there. So he'll continue to work, and if he continues to work, I think he's going to continue to get better. And along with that snapping, he has to, as he mentioned, sometimes he has to block a nose guard, sometimes he has to block a linebacker, sometimes he has to block a backside down or a frontside tackle, defensive tackle. So got a lot of responsibility along with snapping the ball. But hopefully he can continue to improve. And Brandon, as you say, is a guy that's been around our program for a number of years, and glad to see him get the opportunity to play, and hope he continues to get better as we go through the weeks here. And I think he's going to do a lot of good things for us.
Well, thanks for being here with us tonight, Brandon. Saying you and Chris as captains this week. Keep up the good work and enthusiasm. There's our work cut out for us on Friday night. And good luck. When we come back, we'll look at some highlights from the Shadyside game.
Be a winner. Catch a great deal on a new or pre-owned car or truck at Knowlton Ford. Look at the selection in the lot or let them use their locator service to find exactly what you want. Knowltons have served Monroe County with quality Ford parts and service for 4 generations. And there's still a home light dealer offering sales, service, and parts. So why not let Mike help you reach your goal when it comes to your next vehicle? Be a winner. Shop Knowlton Ford. Why buy it and store it when you can just ask Woodsfield True Value for the tools and equipment you need for your next project? Rent that auger, log splitter, 40-foot extension ladder, or pressure washer just in time for fall chores. If you need earth-moving equipment, hand tools, party supplies, lawn and garden tools, or stuff for automotive care, concrete work, plumbing, and so much more, help is just around the corner at Just Ask Rental, Woodsfield True Value. Dr. Jay Seidler and nurse practitioner Carol Shoemaker and the staff of Marietta Healthcare Physicians want to take this opportunity to thank all of their patients for your continued support over the past several years. Dr. Seidler and Carol are thrilled to come home and serve your healthcare needs. We're here for you Monday through Friday and accessible by phone at other times. So if you're already a patient, thank you. If not, call to make arrangements for transferring your medical records to Marietta Healthcare Physicians.
Our first clip of the night, we get a nice quarterback pressure.
Well, when you have a team that throw the football, and although Shadyside may not throw as much as he did in the past, here they're in the shotgun and they'll throw the ball. And we get good pressure from the outside from number 82, Tyler Knowlton, and then inside, Eddie McConnell closes down.
Mike English steps through into the backfield to make a play.
They're again, they're running out of shotgun formation, and they're trying to run off left tackle. Mike does an excellent job getting penetration. There's nowhere for Jovicic to go. He tries to cut it back, and Mike does an excellent job along with help from Stephen Habig.
Here's Mike English once again with help from some of his friends.
Another nice defensive play by number 77, Mike English, from his right defensive tackle. Kind of gets down inside, but he does a nice job knifing in there and gets help from Tyler Knowlton and also Eddie McConnell and Matt Ishii.
Here's Zach Ring able to get outside his left end for some positive yardage.
Now we run the toss sweep out of the slot eye here, and we run to the left side, and we do get positive yardage here, and this is the type of thing we've got to be more consistent with, and this will be the type of thing that helps our offense.
Torrey Prickett with nice pursuit from the strong safety position.
Here Shadyside lines up in a double wing formation, and they'll bring their right wingman back on a little reverse or counter action. They'll pull the guard, but Torrey does a nice job staying with this play all the way and comes up and makes the tackle.
Matt Ishii and Eddie McConnell combined to make a stop.
Now Jovicic is in shotgun formation, and you'll see Matt Ishii and Eddie McConnell both put nice pressure on. They got a block on Tyler Knowlton right here. Matt turns him around to the inside, and Eddie's right there cleaning up on it.
Torrey Prickett makes the reception and then shows good effort to gain the first down.
We're running out of full wide receivers here. Dexter out of the shotgun formation gets pressure here from the backside, but does a nice job stepping up and dumps the ball off to Torrey Prickett right here, and Torrey picks up the first down.
Here's Brandon Ring providing nice punt coverage.
Yeah, we did a little better job of the punting this week than last week. We still have a ways to go, but Stephen gets off the kick right here deep in their territory, and you got good coverage. Our people running down. You'll see Brandon Ring, number 71, right here come in, make the tackle, gets help from Skylar Bondi and Torrey Prickett.
Here we see senior defensive end Tyler Knowlton.
Now again, another defensive stop here by the Knowles. They'll line up again in a shotgun formation with Taylor Jovicic and 2 sidecars with him, and they try to run the ball up the middle on a draw. He tries to bounce it outside because there's nowhere to go, and Tyler Knowlton does a real nice job of making the tackle.
Defensive lineman Eddie McConnell gets penetration and makes a play in the backfield.
Lining up the right defensive tackle here, number 72, Eddie McConnell shows his strength. He kind of overpowers the offensive lineman, gets very good penetration in the backfield, and just knocks their player off his off balance and for a big loss.
A Jordan Wells punt return gives the home crowd something to cheer about.
Yeah, here Tigers are punting deep in their own territory, and Jordan does a nice job fielding the ball. Gets 2 good blocks, one from Zach Ring, one from actually 3 or 4 good blocks, one from Nick Dillman, Chris Lazier, and then the last one from Stephen Avey. Nice return there by Jordan Wells.
And now let's look at our Citizens National Bank play of the week.
It's a good snap. And a good kick fielded by Wells. Good block right there.
Nice job.
Staying with him. He's got a little room over here. Getting upfield. He breaks 1, 2, 3 tackles all the way inside the 20. That's a nice block back here by number 30, Zach Ring. Zach Ring, a nice block and good return by Wells.
The Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, home-owned and independently operated since 1933. Your community bank. Our officers, directors, and staff are dedicated to customer and community service. We reinvest your deposit dollars locally. So remember, banking with us is not only good for you, but it's good for your community. Citizens National Bank of Woodsfield, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Bill Riesbeck. You heard me talk many times about how we offer you the best variety at the best possible price every day. And we do it with no cards, no gimmicks, no hassle. Just like you, we're working to get the most we can for the money we spend. So if these things are important to you, come home to Riesbeck's. We'll even add customer service as we continue what Grandma started over 70 years ago.
McDonald's of Woodsfield is not just great food and lots of fun, it's a vital part of our community. Perla and Dell believe in supporting our kids. That's why McDonald's is proud to be the exclusive halftime sponsor for the Monroe Central Seminoles. And proud to offer 24-hour drive-thru service. McDonald's food whenever you're hungry.
This is the receiver of the Woodsfield Redskins, and I'm loving it.
Stop by and try McDonald's latest chicken premium sandwiches.
We're loving it.
So before or after the big game, celebrate at McDonald's. GAP Wireless is your hometown wireless agent. That's great news for you because now you don't have to drive 30 miles or more if you have a simple problem with your cell phone. Maybe your current plan just isn't right for you and the way you use your phone. Well, GAP Wireless is your one-stop shop for wireless. Stop in to customize your plan, pick up accessories, or check out the latest audio and video streaming camera phone with a radio. GAP Wireless is an Alltel authorized agent.
Tomorrow night's opponent for the Seminoles will be the River Pilots. Pilots off to a 2-0 start and playing their first home game of the year. And the game will be at River High School. I'll tell you, Coach, I know the Pilots are 2-0, but last week that score from the Magnolia game sure caught my attention.
I think it caught everybody's attention, Jeff. And as you say, they're 2-0. They start out, actually, their first 2 games they won by identical scores of 21-20. Game number 1, they defeated Fort Fry 21-20. Fort Fry actually scored with just seconds on the clock at the end of the game and then tried an onside kick. But so it wasn't as close as what maybe the score indicated. And then this past week against Magnolia, a team that has basically about everybody back from last year and expecting to be a good football team and start out 1-0, they defeated Magnolia 21-20, and that game went overtime. Magnolia scoring first in the overtime, missing their extra point, which was actually blocked by River, and then River came back and scored, kicked the extra point, and ended up defeating them 21-20. So 2 big wins for the Pilots in week 1 and 2. They've scored 42 points, averaging 21 points a game, giving up 40 points, averaging defensively, giving up 20 points per game. So I know this is a great start for them. Last year they were 3-7, And so, one more win, and they've equaled their number of wins in the season of 2004. So I know they're flying pretty high down there with a 2-0 start.
We should have mentioned also the fact that this is the first year that the River Pilots have been members of the Pioneer Valley Conference, so this becomes a league game for us, so to speak, also for the first time. On offense, I've noticed it seems like River, with some key people coming back, have put up some very good offensive numbers the first 2 weeks.
Well, Coach Flannery's always been a coach that likes to spread things out and kind of throw the ball all over the place and do some wild things. The last couple of years, he really hasn't had the personnel to do that. Last couple of years, he's been real big on the offensive line, and he's more or less kept it pretty tight and tried to grind it out a little bit. He lost most of his offensive linemen, but returning are some skilled people that's made a big difference in their football team this year. And he's pretty much a senior-laden football team. When you look at the offensive side, Dylan Whitaker lines up at center. He's a senior, 5'11", 220, number 69. Chad Byers, also a senior, 6 foot 175, number 56 at one guard. And Casey Arman, another senior, 5'11", 171, number 50 at the other guard. At the tackles, again, two seniors, Brant Sawyer, 6'1", 250, number 55, and Corey Van Camp, 6 foot 173, senior, number 72. At the wideouts are Colby Starr, number 5, a senior, 6 foot 160, and Tyler Abbott, a junior, 6 foot 155, number 22. The trigger man of the offense is Casey Orendorf, who got a lot of experience last year, has had 2 very exceptional games in the first 2 games of this year. He's number 1. He's a senior, 6'1", 165. He can throw the ball. He can also run the ball. In fact, the winning score was set up by, they had him Magnolia Head River in like a 3rd down and a long situation, and he scrambled, picked up a 1st down, set up the touchdown. At the fullback spot is Cole Huffman, the senior, 34, 5'8", 160, and then the 2 running backs or slot positions are Troy Starr, who's had an outstanding 2 games, their leading receiver. He's a sophomore, number 45, 6'1", 170, and a senior, Randy Smith, number 21, who's 5'10", 160. So you can expect to see about anything. You'll see a lot of one-back or no-back offense. You'll see trips. You'll see twins. You'll see misdirection. You'll see a lot of different things because I guarantee you they'll throw everything at us. So on offense, they line up with 9 seniors, 1 junior, and 1 sophomore. And on the offensive side of the ball, rushing-wise, they've rushed the ball 57 times for 185 yards, 92.5 average in 2 games, 18 for 31, 397 yards passing, 4 touchdowns for Orendorf, only 1 interception, averaging just shy of 200 yards per game passing the ball. So looking at just under 300 yards of offense average in 2 games. So that's some pretty good offensive stats. Rushing-wise, Cole Huffman's their leading rusher, 26 carries, 78 yards. Randy Smith, 7 carries and 61 yards. I mentioned Orendorf's numbers, 18 for 31, 397, 4 TDs, and 1 interception. Receiving, Troy Starr is a big receiver thus far, 6 catches, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Randy Smith has 2 catches, 39 yards, and a touchdown. One of those was a touchdown. So they're a football team that's pretty explosive. I'm very impressed with their speed, and we were up against a speed team last week in Shadyside, and they just outquicked us. So we're going to have to be ready this week because River has basically some of the similar speed.
Now on the defensive side of the ball, knowing some of their defensive coaches, I'm sure they'll come at us with a lot of different looks as far as their defense and with a lot of the same personnel that you just talked about.
They're basically a 40 defense, Jeff. They'll line up in a 4-4, and then most of the time it'll be basically a 4-3 look. It's kind of like a 4-4 or 4-3 with a monster look. But they got 2 big guys inside at the down tackles. Other than that, they're not real big, but they are extremely quick defensively, and that impressed us, and kind of similar to what Shadyside was. Inside down tackles, Brant Sawyer's number 55, 6'1", 250, and Mike Kelly didn't play a lot on offense, number 77, 6 foot 265. So they got some size at those inside down positions. Casey Arman's 1 defensive end, number 50. He's a senior, and the other one's also senior, number 56, Chad Byers. Linebackers, Smith, Adam McKee, a senior, 6'3", 175, Starr, a sophomore, and Cole Huffman, a senior. And in the secondary, have Tyler Abbott, a junior, Kobe Starr, a senior, and Cody Lee, which is a junior. So they line up on defense with 8 seniors, 2 juniors, and 1 sophomore. So they're a pretty experienced team, and mostly seniors on both sides of the ball. But I'm sure, we've had some experienced some difficulties offensively. I'm sure they're going to probably try to bring a lot of people at us, and they'll probably send some linebackers and try to give us some fits defensively.
Well, it will be a big game. It is the only time this year that the Seminoles will play against a county school, and the Pilots being 2-0, I'm sure they're very excited in their first home game, and I would like to think that our young men are excited to get that back out on the field after the bad taste of last week's game.
Well, I hope so, Jeff, and you mentioned that they are now in the PVC. This is their first year in the PVC, and so this is a critical early season matchup. Last week was an OVAC game and not a PVC game, so we're 1-0 in the PVC, and they're also 1-0 in the PVC with the win over Fort Fry in week 1. So this is an early key matchup in the PVC, and hopefully, I'm sure both teams will be ready. Hopefully our kids will be a little more ready to play than they were in week 1 or week 2.
Well, that game will be tomorrow night at 7:30 at River High School, and hope to see everybody there. When we come back, we'll wrap up with a few items. We'll be right back.
Monroe Family Health Center is and always has been a part of your community.
For almost 30 years, Monroe Family Health Center has been providing excellence in comprehensive health care in Monroe County. We invite you to visit us and take advantage of our lab, x-ray, immunization, medication assistance, and other services available in Woodsfield. All insurances, including Medicaid, are accepted with a sliding fee scale based on income and family size.
4 doctors and a nurse practitioner are ready to serve you and your family. What's that supposed to be? That's a car Stinky has it in his gun. That's not a car, that's a piece of junk. Someone know what was in it. Ow! Oh, brother. I have a great idea. Go forward. Yeah! I'm not going to take them forward.
I'm not fine till I check on board.
Since 1887, folks have trusted Woodsfield Savings Bank with their financial needs. So when you need someone to lead you with your financial decisions, come to the friendly folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank, where customers count. Because of your busy schedule, we offer a drive-through and night deposit box, as well as convenient parking, direct deposit, and automatic payments. The folks at Woodsfield Savings Bank truly believe that making an investment in our kids brings the biggest return to our community. For over 100 years, Bauer Turner Furniture has been serving our community with quality furniture and bedding. After a big day, kick back and relax in a dual recliner sofa, or choose from living room suites featuring couches with comfy armchairs or matching recliners. Then pick the perfect coffee table and tables and lamp to suit your personality. Of course, they stock bedroom furniture to please the country, traditional, or contemporary decorator. Kitchen tables and chairs, hutches, entertainment centers, and more can be delivered to your home this week. So stop by Bauer Turner Furniture today.
Once again, kickoff tomorrow night is at 7:30 at River High School. Note here on pre-sale tickets, Monroe Central will be selling pre-sale tickets for Friday's football game with the River Pilots at the following locations. Tickets will be available at Monroe Central High School on Friday during school hours, and also at the Marathon Station in Woodsfield until approximately 4 p.m. on Friday. Tickets are $4 in advance for adults, $3 in advance for students, and all tickets at the game will be $5. It's the same policy as for Monroe Central home games, but you want to try to get your tickets in advance and avoid the long lines down at the game. Also on the sideliner board last week, first quarter winner was Mike Yonts. Halftime, third quarter, and final score winner, all 3 go to Mark Ring. Coach, you wanted to mention a little bit about your Ohio State raffle tickets.
Yeah, we have a raffle going on right now in conjunction with Caldwell High School, and Jennifer Garrison, state representative, is so kind to give us some raffle tickets and have 2 tickets to Ohio State-Iowa game. I believe it's on the 23rd, to be raffled off next week prior to the Caldwell game at Caldwell. So we have some tickets available. The boys will be selling those, and also the sideliners. So if you're interested in trying to take a chance on winning 2 tickets to the Ohio State-Iowa game, you can see any player or coach or sideliner, and those tickets are $5 each, and that winner will be drawn for those 2 tickets at the Caldwell game, at the beginning of the Caldwell game. So thanks to Jennifer Garrison, State Representative. That'll be a little fundraiser for us and also for Caldwell, the football program. We also have some leftover things, items from our sweatshirt, jacket, pullover sale type thing. So if anyone's interested in a jacket, a pullover, a sweatshirt, if we happen to have the size you need, just let us know. We can get you fixed up with one of those.
All right, Coach. Please join us then Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for a replay of the game. And then Coach and I will be here again next Thursday evening at 10 p.m. and we'll talk about the game and also meet a couple more Seminole players. Well, Coach, good luck again this week. Hopefully the enthusiasm stays up, and nobody's worked as hard as you and the staff are trying to get things back on track.
Let's hope we're here on a little brighter note next week, Jeff.
And until next week, we'll see you at the ball game. Good night.